My sleep app recorded someone whispering from my closet, and it wasn't me. Location: Tallahassee, Florida. Part 1, The Whisper. I've always used this sleep tracking app called Night Talk. It records sounds while I sleep, snoring, turning over, that kind of stuff. I got into it after a bad bout of insomnia last year. My routine is simple: plug in the charger, hit record, and crash. Last Tuesday, I woke up to an alert. The app had picked up an unusual sound at 2:53 a.m. I played it, expecting to hear a cough or maybe the cat jumping on the bed. Instead, I heard a man whispering, "Please, I'm still in here." I froze. It was clear, desperate, and definitely not my voice. I live alone. My front door was locked. My windows were shut. The app timestamped it right as I was in deep sleep mode. I replayed it. Over and over. Same low whisper. Same closet door in the background. I couldn't explain it. So I did what most people would do. I checked the closet. It was empty. But the next night? Things got worse. Part 2, The Closet Opens. I left the app recording again the next night. Just to be sure. I wanted to prove it was a glitch. Maybe some stray audio from a YouTube video or a dream mumble. I even left my closet open to rule out any squeaking. When I woke up, there were 2 recordings. The first was normal. Me tossing in bed. The second? Timestamped at 3:09 a.m. It was the unmistakable creak of the closet door. Only, I'd left it open. But the sound was exactly like when I slide the door open at night. Wooden, slow, hesitant. Like someone trying not to wake me. I checked the closet again. Nothing. The door was shut. I was sure I'd left it open. I checked the app settings. No bugs. No shared audio. Just my voice, my breathing, and now, something else. I felt watched in my own bedroom. That night, I slept with the lights on. Part 3, Breathing That Wasn't Mine. By night 3, I was on edge. My friends thought I was overthinking it. One suggested I was sleepwalking. Another joked that I had a ghost roommate. I laughed along, but I knew something was wrong. I set up my phone again. This time, I placed it on the nightstand with the mic aimed toward the closet. At 3:02 a.m., the app recorded something new. Breathing. Deep, heavy breathing. Not mine. Mine is higher pitched, faster. This was low. Controlled. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. It went on for over 40 seconds. And then, a whisper. "Why did you leave me?" I stopped breathing myself. It wasn't a recording error. It was crystal clear. Same voice. Still not mine. And this time, it sounded angry. Part 4, The Closet Door Had Scratches. I called in sick to work that day. I couldn't focus. I couldn't sleep. My apartment felt wrong, like something was breathing with me. Around noon, I gathered the nerve to open the closet again. I emptied it out. Clothes. Boxes. Nothing else. But then I saw the back wall. It had scratches. Not big ones. Faint, but there. 4 parallel lines about 6 inches long, etched into the paint like fingernails had dragged across it. I touched them. Fresh. I don't own a pet. I don't have kids. The air inside the closet felt colder than the rest of the room. Not just cold, dead. I decided to move out. I packed what I could. Called a friend to help. But when I tried to show him the recording, it was gone. The app showed audio corrupted. But I knew what I'd heard. Part 5, The Boy in the Closet. That night, I slept on the couch. But I still recorded audio, out of habit or fear, I'm not sure which. At 3:11 a.m., something new. A child's voice. A boy. Crying. I didn't want to go in there. My blood ran cold. I didn't play the whole clip. Just turned off the phone and sat in silence. I stared at the hallway that led to the bedroom. I didn't want to look toward the closet. But the crying kept playing in my head. Not loud. Just enough to make the silence unbearable. I finally went back into the bedroom the next morning. The closet was wide open. Inside, someone, or something, had written on the wall. Still here. I moved into a hotel that afternoon. Part 6, The House History. I couldn't rest until I knew what happened. I went to the county records office in Tallahassee. Asked for any reports or incidents tied to my address. The clerk looked at me like I'd asked something dangerous. But he handed me a file. In 1997, a boy named Caleb went missing in the very unit I live in. 8 years old. Last seen playing hide-and-seek with his older brother. The last thing the brother heard? A whisper from the closet. "Come find me." They never found Caleb. No signs of forced entry. No blood. No break-in. The police eventually ruled it as a runaway. But the brother swore Caleb never left the room. It had been almost 30 years. The apartment had been rented to dozens of people since. None of them stayed more than 6 months. No one reported anything, except me. Part 7, the final recording. I went back one last time. Not to sleep. Just to get the last of my stuff. I left my phone on, recording like always. I didn't expect anything new. I kept the closet door shut. I didn't want to know. But the phone picked up one final recording. At exactly 3 a.m., there's silence. Then a click. The closet door. Then footsteps. Not mine. Not running, just soft steps on the carpet, walking away from the closet. Then a child's voice. Whispering. You heard me. That means you can see me now. Then silence. And the app crashed. I deleted the app. Sold the phone. Moved across the state. But sometimes, around 3 a.m., I still wake up. And I swear I can hear a closet creaking open. Even when there isn't one in the room. The mirror house, I came home and everything was reversed. Welcome home, stranger. I live alone in a small, split-level house on a quiet street in St. Paul, Minnesota. It's not much, but it's mine. I've lived here for almost 4 years. Same layout. Same couch. Same microwave. Same damn barking dog that jumps on me the second I walk in. Last weekend, I took a short trip to Duluth to visit my brother. Just 2 days. I locked the house like always, double-checked the windows, set my cameras. I even left food and water for Duke, my golden retriever. A friend stopped by Saturday to walk him. When I pulled into the driveway Sunday night, everything looked normal, except Duke didn't bark like he usually does when he hears my car. That dog always loses his mind when I get home. This time? Silence. The porch light was on, though. So I let myself in. It looked like my house. But it felt wrong the second I stepped inside. I couldn't tell you why. The lights were in the right place. My shoes were still by the door. The air even smelled like my place, wood polish and dog fur. But something in my gut twisted. And then I saw it. The couch. It was mirrored. Not moved to the other side of the room. Flipped, like someone had printed my living room backward and pasted it over the real thing. I stared for a full minute before walking closer. I had a small tear in the left cushion, one Duke made when he was a puppy. Now, the tear was on the right. I pulled out my phone and opened an old photo of me and Duke watching TV. The couch tear? Clearly on the left. In the photo. But not in front of me. That was just the beginning. Part 2, everything looks the same. But it isn't. I walked slowly through my house, heart pounding. The kitchen looked untouched. Dishes in the sink, cereal box half closed on the counter. But when I reached for the microwave, my hand hit the hinge. It opened from the other side now. The sticker I had on it, heat, not reheat, was gone. I checked the cabinets. All the labels on the cans faced the opposite way. Even the handles on the fridge were reversed. Every object was where it should be, but turned, flipped, mirrored like I was walking through a photo negative of my life. I rushed upstairs. My bedroom light flicked on like normal, but my bed, my queen-sized bed with drawers underneath, had the drawers on the wrong side. The lamp I kept on the right? It was now on the left. I stood there, frozen, waiting for someone to jump out. For some friend to shout, "Gotcha." But no one came. I ran into the bathroom and looked in the mirror. And that's when I nearly lost it. Because my reflection wasn't showing what was behind me. It showed the real version of my room. Couch tear on the left. Microwave door correct. Lamp on the right. Everything behind me in the glass was how I remembered it. But when I turned around? Still wrong. Still backwards. Part 3, Duke doesn't know me anymore. I heard Duke's nails clicking down the hall, slow and hesitant. I called his name. Duke. Come here, boy. He paused at the door, stared at me, and barked. Loud. Angry. He didn't recognize me. I crouched and called him again. My voice cracked. He growled. This was a dog who used to sleep on my chest when he was scared of thunderstorms. Now he was acting like I was an intruder. Eventually, he crept close enough to sniff me. And I watched as something changed in his eyes. Recognition? Maybe. But also, confusion. He circled me a few times and kept sniffing, like he knew me but not this me. I tried to pet him, but he flinched. It was like he thought I wasn't real. That I looked like his owner, but wasn't. I don't know why, but I checked his collar. It was the same one. Same tag. But the engraving? Reversed. Like it had been pressed from behind instead of the front. Just like everything else. Part 4, the evidence that doesn't lie. I needed proof I wasn't losing it. I pulled up every old photo I had of my house. Dozens. Every one of them showed things the right way, the way I remembered. Couch tear on the left. Lamp on the right. Microwave normal. I even opened video footage from my security camera. That's when it got worse. The video from Saturday showed my friend stopping by to walk Duke. She entered using her code, walked Duke, fed him, left. Everything looked fine. But Sunday? The feed cut out at 2:06 a.m. Just black screen. When it came back on around 7 a.m., the footage looked odd. Like it had been flipped horizontally. I don't mean the image was mirrored. I mean the world it showed was backwards. The furniture, the clock numbers, the door swing, everything. The camera was still physically in the same place, but it was recording a house that no longer matched mine. Not even gravity seemed right. A piece of paper fell upward in one clip. Just briefly. Then the footage skipped again. My friend said she saw nothing strange. But she also noticed Duke acting weird. I asked if she noticed anything, reversed. She said, "What do you mean? Your couch has always been on the left." That was the final straw. She was part of it, or something changed her memory too. Part 5, The Other Me. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept watching the mirror. Because it was the only thing still showing the real version of my home. And then I saw it. I looked into the mirror. And for a split second, the me in the reflection moved, differently. It turned its head before I did. Blinked at the wrong time. And then slowly smiled at me. I didn't smile. My reflection raised its hand. I didn't. I stumbled back, heart racing. The mirrored me just stood there. Watching. Smiling. Like it had been waiting for me to notice. And just like that, it moved in sync again. Back to normal. But I knew something had cracked. There was another me. And he was living in the house I used to call mine. Part 6, Behind the Mirror. I had to know. I grabbed a flashlight, unscrewed the mirror from the wall, expecting to find drywall. But behind it was an opening. A small space, just wide enough to crawl through. I hesitated, then climbed in. It wasn't drywall. It was a tunnel. Dusty. Cold. Completely silent. At the end, there was another mirror. But this time, when I looked in, I saw my original house. Exactly how I remembered it. And in that house, sitting on my couch, was me. The real me? Or the copy? I knocked on the mirror. He looked up. And smiled. A slow, knowing smile. He mouthed something. I couldn't hear it, but I read his lips. "You don't belong here." Part 7, Stuck Between Two Worlds. Since then, I've been trapped in this, flipped version of my life. The mirror is sealed now. The crawl space is gone. Duke tolerates me, but I know he senses I'm not who I was. My reflection moves like me again, but sometimes, in the corner of my eye, I see it smirk. The people in my life don't notice anything. To them, this has always been my reality. They don't remember the couch being on the right. Or the microwave opening the other way. And no one seems to remember the version of me I remember being. I try to act normal. I go to work. I pay my bills. But every time I look in a mirror too long, I feel it again. That pull. That flicker of something watching from the other side. Waiting. And I wonder, did the other me take my place? Or am I the copy, who finally came home? The day my doppelganger took over my life. Location, Providence, Rhode Island. Part 1, The Sick Day I Never Took. I wasn't even planning to take the day off. But when I woke up that Monday morning, head pounding, throat raw, I texted my boss, Megan, and said I wouldn't make it in. Nothing unusual about that. I stayed in bed most of the morning, sipping Gatorade and scrolling Reddit on my phone. Around noon, my phone buzzed. It was a message from Sarah, the woman in the next cubicle at work. "You okay? You looked off this morning." I blinked at the text. "What?" I typed back, "What do you mean?" I called out sick. She replied almost instantly. "No, you were definitely here. You've been sitting at your desk all morning. Haven't said a word." I froze. I hadn't left my apartment. I tried calling her, but it went straight to voicemail. A chill settled in my chest. Maybe she was messing with me? Office prank? I didn't think Sarah was the type. A few minutes later, my coworker Brandon texted. "Are you feeling all right? You didn't blink for like 10 minutes straight during the morning meeting." What the hell was going on? Part 2, Watching Myself Arrive. The next day, I dragged myself into the office, needing answers. The place went quiet when I walked in. Megan blinked at me like she'd seen a ghost. "You're back already? What do you mean?" I asked. "You were here yesterday," she said, slowly. I told her the truth, I'd stayed home. I even showed her a time-stamped photo I'd posted on Instagram, me lying on the couch with soup and a thermometer. She frowned, confused, then said something that made my stomach flip. "We have security cameras. Want to check the footage?" We went to the security office and pulled up the Monday morning tape. There I was, walking in at 8:12 a.m. Same clothes I wore the Friday before. Same backpack. I walked past the camera. No wave. No smile. Just blank. I watched the video. I didn't talk to anyone. I sat at my desk from 8:15 until 5 o'clock. Didn't eat. Didn't take a break. Barely moved. When the screen showed me turning to stare directly into the security camera for a full minute, unblinking, Megan gasped and stepped back. I wish I could say I didn't see it. But I did. That was my face. But that was not me. Part 3, Tuesday, he came back. That night, I couldn't sleep. My mind kept replaying the footage. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw myself staring back. Still. Silent. Wrong. I didn't go in Tuesday either. Just in case. By 10 a.m., the text started again. Sarah. Why are you doing this? Brandon. You're scaring everyone. You just stood in the corner of the break room. Didn't move. My hands were shaking. I called the front desk and asked if I was in the building. They confirmed. I'd badged in at 8:09 a.m. I pulled up the remote access to my apartment's security cam. My door hadn't opened all day. I was still there. I was still home. Yet he was there too. I rewatched the security feed from the office. Tuesday's footage showed me walking the same path, sitting at my desk, staring forward. But at noon, something changed. He stood up and walked straight toward the camera. This time, he smiled. Part 4, the surveillance tapes. Wednesday morning, I went to the office building early, before anyone else arrived. I told security it was a personal emergency. I needed to see the last 3 days of footage, now. The guard was hesitant but agreed. We fast-forwarded through Monday, Tuesday, and now Wednesday morning. Same routine. 8:12 a.m. The doors opened. He walked in. Sat down. Didn't speak. But this time, around 11:45 a.m., he opened a drawer at my desk. Pulled out a photo frame, my parents'. He held it like it was alien. Then he did something worse. He turned to the cubicle wall, picked up a pen, and slowly began writing. The camera angle couldn't catch what he was scribbling. But when I rushed into the office and checked the cubicle an hour later, I found it. I like your life. Written over and over again on a post-it. Dozens of them. Plastered across the divider. Part 5, gone from the mirror. By Thursday, I wasn't just scared, I was unraveling. I stood in front of my bathroom mirror and stared at myself, trying to find something, anything, that proved I was the real me. But something felt off. My reflection looked slower. It copied me perfectly, but with the tiniest delay. Less than a second. Like lag on a bad Zoom call. I waved my hand. It waved back, just slightly too late. My knees buckled. I splashed water on my face. Looked up again. Now it was normal. Was it always normal? Or had it just caught up? That night, I unplugged everything in my apartment. Covered all mirrors. Piled furniture against the door. I curled up in bed with my phone clutched in my hand. At 3:14 a.m., I got a message from Sarah. You're still here. You never left. Part 6, replaced. Friday morning, I tried to badge into the office. It didn't work. I went to the front desk. The woman looked up at me with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. I'm sorry, she said. Your credentials were deactivated. You no longer work here. What? Your replacement's already inside. I sprinted to the elevators. Got to my floor. The door was already locked. Through the frosted glass of the conference room window, I saw him. He was laughing. Laughing with Megan. Chatting with Sarah. Smiling. He'd taken my seat. He was wearing new clothes. Had a fresh haircut. My face, but lighter. Warmer. More alive. I pounded on the glass. No one turned. No one saw me. Part 7, I didn't come back. It's been 2 weeks. No one answers my calls anymore. My parents think I'm off traveling somewhere. I don't remember telling them that, but they swear I did. My apartment key doesn't work. When I went to the bank, the teller said my account had been closed, by me. I checked social media. My profiles are gone. But he posts now. Photos of the office. Smiling selfies with coworkers. Even one with my parents at a dinner I wasn't at. He writes in captions like he's known them forever. Like he's always been me. And I don't think I am anymore. Not officially. Not in the system. Not in the world. I didn't leave. But I didn't come back, either.